Welcome back to The Real Story. House Select Committee investigating Benghazi, ordering the appearance now of Sidney Blumenthal. Who's he? A confidant who traded emails with Hillary Clinton using her secret email account. Blumenthal was a senior White House advisor under President Clinton. He's paid to do research and message guidance for the Clinton Foundation. He sent Secretary Clinton at least 25 memos on Libya in 2011 and 2012. Chris Plant is a syndicated radio talk show host. Leslie Marshall, Fox News contributor and syndicated radio talk show host. Chris, this is problematic, is it not? And now he's been subpoenaed to come and give a deposition June 3rd in front of the Benghazi Select Committee.
Right, although I think it's going to be behind closed doors and for the record and not for cameras, as I understand it. But it certainly could mean more trouble for Hillary and, yet all of these interconnected scandals that are plaguing, hopefully, Hillary Clinton at this point. And it could be more bad news for her. They're going to get him on the record under oath. And, that's where people in Washington start to run into trouble when they're under oath and there are potential perjury charges and all of that sort of thing.
Right.
When people's stories don't marry up.
Well, Leslie, do you think it's a problem that Mr. Blumenthal was on the payroll of the Clinton Foundation at the same time he was being paid by groups helping Mrs. Clinton's presidential run, at the same time he was advising a U.S. business seeking Libyan contracts, at the same time he was secretly advising Secretary of State Clinton about Libya?
No, because he wasn't asked to advise her. He sent emails. We have even seen one of her responses saying, I don't think this is credible. What I think from what I've read is that she looked at these, she passed them off. She did forward one to Ambassador Stevens that we know of. My problem here is this is unprecedented. This is a private citizen who was not working for the State Department, for our federal government, for the Secretary of State. At that time, these were not requested from her or the State Department. This was a private person sending a friend of his some information which she and her staff largely and clearly disregarded and did not find credible. So I don't find the problem here for Mrs. Clinton. And I think the reason it's behind closed doors is because it is so unprecedented and because he is a private citizen.
Interesting. Interesting, though, because it gets so much more complicated because he was sending it to the email that was on this private server that potentially got hacked. And so, the story goes on and on. I want you to listen to Senator Rand Paul because, interestingly enough, he has a couple questions for Hillary.
But I think the same question, to be fair, ought to be asked of Hillary Clinton. If she ever takes questions, they should ask her, was it a good idea to invade Libya? Did that make us less safe? Did it make it more chaotic? Did it allow radical Islam and ISIS to grow stronger?
So do you think she'll get asked that question if she takes more questions, Chris?
Well, based on the questions she was asked yesterday, I'm not really optimistic about the press holding her feet to the fire in anything. But Senator Paul certainly has a very good question. I mean, the country is Mad Max beyond Thunderdome. And, it's the mad people on one side and the completely insane people on the other side. And we did that. There's no question about that. Another question to ask her is, knowing what you know now, should we have pulled all of our troops out of Iraq? Which also gave life and gave birth to what we're watching going on in Iraq and Syria right now.
Okay.
And she's, not held to account very often.
All right, Leslie, I owe you extra time next time. Sorry, we've had so much breaking news.
No
Got to
worries.
wrap it there. Owe you first next.